Well, good morning, everybody. I decided I wanted some waffles this morning. So I'm going to heat up this waffle iron. This is a real old waffle iron, but it still works. Yeah. I made myself a cup of coffee over here. And we do need sugar, so I'll bring the sugar over. How y'all feeling this morning? Oh, that's good. Good, good, good. Yeah, the first thing we need is 2 bananas, and it helps if they're ripe bananas, because you got to mash them up, and it's kind of hard to mash bananas if they're not ripe. Y'all know that if you've ever tried to mash bananas to put in anything. So, and I hate it that I'm right directly under this light, but there's nowhere else to get to set this thing up. So, y'all have to bear with me. Yeah, I was thinking about waffles the other day, and I said, man, I need to really make me some waffles. I got this waffle iron that I keep holding on to, because occasionally I do get it out, and I'll make a bunch of waffles. But get your 2 bananas and then just mash them up. And you know it's so much easier if they're ripe. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. And I tighten this stuff too tight sometimes. Yeah, little buddy, he's already been by and got his breakfast this morning. Put in just a tiny bit of ground cinnamon. I'm going to put in a tiny bit of nutmeg, just regular ground nutmeg. And this is a big tablespoon, so I'm just going to use about half of a tablespoon, which would be a teaspoon of sugar. And you can use brown sugar if you'd like. I'm just using regular sugar this morning. And I'm not sure what to set this on. I don't want it too hot. I forgot to get my spray oil, and it's the butter flavored one. Mix that all up. I'm going to add my egg. It only takes 1 egg. And I've got frozen strawberries, but I didn't get them out. You can top this with any kind of frozen fruit. Let it thaw out and top your waffles with it. Whipped cream, anything like that. I just didn't buy any because I hadn't planned on doing this. But 1 cup of self-rising flour. And I don't add my milk until last because that egg and banana has a lot of moisture in it. And I know most pancake recipes call for like a cup of milk. That's not quite a cup. It's about 3/4 of a cup. We'll see how that works. I can always add more. Not canned milk, but I can use some other milk I've got in the refrigerator. I do keep regular milk occasionally. But it's always 1% or 2%. So that's probably about a cup that I've put in there, a cup of milk. Forgot something. So what I got this thing set on, got it on high. And I've got it hit. I've tried to get the temperature about 375. I'm not sure because, you know, you can't really tell on these older waffle irons. But it's on like a medium, I guess. I turned it on high until it got really hot. Well, I want y'all to see it, but I got to be able to put this in there. put enough of the batter in there to fill the waffle iron, but I don't want it to really come out the edges. I got the bowl wet underneath. I didn't realize it. Y'all love waffles? I love them, but I don't eat them all the time. Because see, when I mix them, I usually have enough to make 2 or 3 big waffles, and then I have to freeze them or put them in the refrigerator and eat them for several days. So, which is a good thing. I mean, I'm not knocking that, but I just thought banana waffles would be good this morning, because I had those 2 ripe bananas and I couldn't decide what to do with them. I wasn't sure if I wanted to make banana bread, banana cake, waffles, pancakes, what I wanted to do. And I decided to do the waffles. Oh, that's good. The trick is to get it hot before you put your batter in there. Oh, they smell so good. You smell so good this morning. I keep checking on them because I don't want to burn them. It's been so long since I've used this waffle iron tool. I'm afraid I'm going to burn them. And if you don't have the bananas, just fix waffles. Just use the cup of flour, the teaspoon of sugar, your nutmeg, your cinnamon, your vanilla. Yeah, I'm going to be freezing a couple of these because I'm not eating them all, that's for sure. That makes a lot of waffles. I guess some of the new waffle irons probably have timers on them, or like temperature gauges. This one doesn't. It's probably 40, 50 years old, but it still works. So I still use it. I just check to see if it releases, because when you know it releases real easy, you know that thing is probably brown. It is if you got it sprayed kind of good. Yeah, I got a comment from, I'm going to sit down while we're waiting for that to cook. I got a comment from one of my subscribers on my video about planting the pepper seeds right out of the pepper. And she said, well, hers never came up. I don't know how long hers had been planted, But you've got to keep your soil moist. So I usually try to check mine every day and just sprinkle a little bit of water just to keep the dirt moist, because if you don't, they're not going to germinate. And you've got to have them in the sun, or your pot or whatever you planted those seed in, put it out in the sun so it gets that heat on the dirt. And it's been so cool here lately, though it's hard for anything to germinate. I mean, one day it's 75 degrees, the next day it might be 50 or 47 outside. I think this is the last cool spell we're going to have for my area. That's not quite done yet. And I've got my waffle iron on high, because I want to try to get it crispy. I don't want it soggy like a pancake. I want it crispy like an actual waffle. Yeah, but her seed, like I said, she didn't say how many days it had been that she planted them. But, and I don't know where she lives. I don't know what their climate is like. But some of these peppers and tomatoes have been radiated. And that's to like either kill germs and also to preserve the fruit to last longer in the store. But I've had really good luck with it. A lot of times when I get my fruit, and most of my fruit comes from Walmart or Aldi. I mean, once in a while I'll come across something that the seeds won't germinate and they won't grow. But most of the time they do. Like those red peppers, I have a pot of peppers that have come up in there's just dozens and dozens of seed that I put in there. And I put all the seed out of one bell pepper in that pot. And you saw how many, dozens and dozens of plants have come up from that seed. And that was from just a regular bell pepper I bought at the store. The one that I planted yesterday, that was a green bell pepper, because I couldn't find green bell peppers. And instead of buying the seed, I just found that Brookshire had green bell pepper. So I bought a bell pepper and I used it in my recipes, and I saved the seed and I went out there and planted them yesterday. I don't know if they'll come up, but they're in a sunny location. I'm going to keep the dirt moist, and I will hope that they do come up. And like I said, sometimes the pepper seed and like okra seed take a little bit longer than maybe the tomato or some of your fast germinating seeds do. So be patient. If it's been weeks and weeks since you've planted those seeds, I just wouldn't worry about it. I'd go get me another bell pepper or another tomato. I don't know what you planted. She didn't even say. She just said her seed didn't come up. So she may have gotten hold of the fruit that had been radiated. And if that's the case, the seeds will not germinate. They will not grow. That's the only problem with trying to grow from fresh fruit or fresh vegetables, is if you get hold of the radiated vegetable or the fruit, then the seeds will not work. But like I said, I've had really good luck with mine. I think just about all of the seed that I harvested out of my bell pepper and my tomatoes, they've all come up. I'm going to have so many tomato plants and so many pepper plants out there, I'm not going to know what to do with them. I guess I'll have to give some plants away or something, because I don't have enough pots to plant them all in unless I buy more pots. Just trying to stick, but I got waffles, y'all. So I'm going to put them over here in my plate. I'm going to spray my waffle iron just a little bit more. And I'm going to pour me some more batter in there. And yeah, mine is the old-fashioned one. It's the square one. I think most of the waffle irons today are round. I hate it when they call me. No one will call me on that phone until I start doing a video. And I've got it on Do Not Disturb. Just trying to get it to the edges. Whoop, dropped it. But you can see I have got waffles, y'all. And to eat them, all you do is put you some butter, put you some pancake syrup, or like I said, if you've got fresh fruit, cut up your fresh fruit on them. If you got whipped cream, put you some whipped cream on them. I mean, it's just that easy. See here? Don't they look good? Those are banana waffles, y'all. Homemade banana waffles. And they would look so pretty to top them with syrup and some whipped cream and some strawberries or blueberries. That would be really good. So, actually, you know, the secret, one of the secrets to this, just like with cooking pizza crust, you got to have the oven hot. And I didn't know that for a long time. I try to cook my pizza crust, and I always wondered why my pizza crust didn't turn out right. Why, you know, it didn't come out like it did in the restaurants. And I found it was simply because I didn't have my oven hot enough. You know, when they cook these pizzas, like in Pizza Hut and different places, they have those big, like brick concrete ovens that they cook them in. And those things get extremely hot. Probably even hotter than my oven would ever get. And that is the secret, not only to the recipe for your crust, but it's the temperature of your oven. I turn mine up just as far as it will go, heat it up, put my pizza dough in, well, my pizzas in there and cook them. It doesn't take that long, and your pizza dough, your pizzas come out so good. The crust is crispy and it's not soggy or anything like that. But yeah, that's the secret. You got to have the heat. Just like you got to have the heat to this waffle iron, you got to have it hot before you put your waffles in there, or they're not gonna turn out like that. You want them brown and crispy. And I gotta taste one. I'm not ready to eat them right yet. That's good. And did you know if you didn't have bread and all you had is some flour, that you can just make plain flour dough, you know, watery like the pancake syrup, pour it in your waffle iron, and make you waffle bread. And you can make it, you can cut it in your squares and actually make a sandwich with your waffle bread. I mean, you can make a sandwich with this, but you're going to have the cinnamon and the banana taste in your bread. But yeah, if you wanted to make a waffle bread, just don't use the bananas, don't use the cinnamon or the nutmeg or any of that stuff. You don't put vanilla in it. You basically just put your self-rising flour, your milk, your egg, a little dash of salt, and do it just like you do the waffles. And you'll have waffle bread. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's kind of neat. Especially if you want a thicker bread, like to go with to make a hamburger even. You could build a good hamburger using waffle bread because it comes out a little thicker, it stays together better, and it doesn't get as soggy as quick as just regular bread. You know, that is if you don't have a hamburger bun. Or even if you wanted to be a little different and you wanted to make a waffle bread. It's just a neat idea to do. Something different. I don't know why my little metal label on the front of mine keeps falling off. I don't know why. Evidently they didn't have anything strong enough to hold it on there. Could you imagine maybe some kids getting together, like having a sleepover, and you want to be something different, something that's fun to do, and you decide to make them some waffle bread to make their sandwiches out of, or their hamburgers, just to have a fun thing to do. I think the kids would love it. I think they'd really get a kick out of doing that. I mean, I've taken the bread batter and just poured in a frying pan and make me a patty just like I would a cornbread, but it's just a bread cake. It's not a cornbread. You know, when I ran out of bread and I didn't want to go to the store, or maybe it was a time I didn't have the money to even buy a loaf of bread. If you got flour, you can make you a waffle bread or just a cake of bread in your frying pan, just like you would cornbread. So it's just some ideas, something different, something that can be fun. Yeah, I'm not going to have enough for another whole one, but I might have enough in that bowl left to make a half one. Could you imagine just doing cake batter this way? I mean, this is almost a cake batter. There's a lot of different things you can come up with. It's really neat. Kind of stack those so I can, when I take my other one out, I'll have something to put it on to cut it. But there's the first stack of waffles, y'all. They're as good as store-bought. I mean, hey, you don't have to buy everything ready-made. And I don't have the camera set up to where you can see stuff real good. But I do the best I can. You know, that's way more waffles than I'm going to eat it this morning, that's for sure. I might eat 2 pieces and that's it. The rest will be for another day. But the good thing about them, you can buy them frozen from the store, so why not freeze them yourself and take them out, put them in the toaster, or pop them in the microwave. I usually just pop mine in the microwave. Mine is an older one. Like I said, it's 40, 50 years old. I think I had it when we came to Texas. Which, like I said, I came out here in 1978. So that's how old this waffle maker is. It's a Munzie Waffle Baker Sandwich Grill Griddle. So you can do all kind of things in this waffle maker. You can grill your sandwiches. Just do a lot of stuff, because it'll hold, what, 4 pieces of bread on the bottom, and then you can build your sandwich or your cheese to make a grilled cheese, and then put your bread on top. You know, butter your waffle maker, or butter the bread a little bit, just, you know, on the top. And then when you close it, it's going to toast your bread while it melts your cheese. And if you wanted, you could put ham on it. So, I mean, it's a multi-purpose waffle grill. You can do a lot of things with it. That's why they call it a waffle baker. Sandwich grill griddle. I mean, a lot of people think all you can do is just make waffles in it for breakfast. But no, you can do a lot of things with the waffle maker. Yeah, but there's a lot of reasons why seeds may not germinate and come up. I mean, years ago, I've actually bought seeds that would not germinate and come up. I don't know if I planted them at the wrong time of the year, or maybe they didn't get enough sun, or maybe I didn't keep them watered enough. Because I know, just like the ones out in my cinder blocks, I didn't keep them watered. I didn't keep them damp, the dirt damp. So the seeds just sat there. But when I started going out there about every day, making sure that the soil was at least damp a little bit, all of a sudden my seeds started popping up out of the ground. So you can't plant them and just leave them and expect them to do everything on their own. You do have to keep them watered, because that dirt has to be damp to have those seeds germinate and come up for you. I mean, she may have meant pepper seeds. I don't know. She just said my seeds didn't come up. So, next time you people, your subscribers, when you make a comment like that, tell me what kind of seeds it is. And whether you got them out of fresh vegetables or whether you bought the seed. Because I don't know, I've had seed in my yard that I planted, say from okra. I've planted peppers. I've planted tomatoes. And I gave up. I didn't think the seed was coming up. So I ended up planting something else there. About a month later, all of a sudden, the seeds I put there was coming up. What I planted there was living. I had a crowd of plants in that pot where I planted all that. So the seeds were good. For some reason, it just took them that long to germinate and come up. So that might be what happens with her. She may give up, plant something else in that pot. It'll come up, and all of a sudden, after that plant comes up that she replanted, all of a sudden the original seed that she put in that pot's going to start popping up out of the ground, and she's going to have 12 plants to deal with. But, that's a good thing, because you can always pull them out and separate them and replant them, spread them out, thin them out and get them in different places. Okay, now this one is wanting to stick. And I don't want it to stick. There you go. I don't know if you can see that. I tried to set my table up to where you could see it. see there, our second waffle. And it's hot. It is hot, hot. I'm going to try to just do one side this time, because I don't think there's enough to make a whole one, but it might be enough to make a half one here. Have to spread it out a little bit. Try not to drop that this time. But yeah, you can cook them like this, a recipe of them, you know, just one recipe like I just did. You can store them in the refrigerator, put them in a plastic bag. Or like I said, if you've got too many and you know you're not going to eat them that quick, get you some individual bags that you can freeze food in. And a sandwich size bag would be perfect, because you could freeze maybe 2 pieces of this in a little sandwich bag. If you get one that's a freezer bag that size, and just freeze them in there. Or if you have a flat pan that you can freeze these on individually, put them up in there and freeze them, and then take them out and put them in a big bag. If you've got like a gallon size freezer bag, and you can store most of them in that one bag. And since you froze them separately in your freezer in maybe a flat pan, then you can take them and put them in that big bag, and they're not going to stick together. They're not going to freeze together. So later, if you want 1 or 2 pieces, go in the freezer, open the bag, get you 1 or 2 out, close it up, and put it back. It's just that easy. But it's a way to save your money. I mean, too many people would make this recipe of banana waffles. They would eat 2 or 3 of them, or maybe 4, and then they throw the rest out because they can't eat all of it. That is wasting your food. It's wasting your money. I've always had to watch my money because there was not that much coming in, so I didn't have the luxury of throwing food away. The only time I threw food away is if it got spoiled for some reason. Other than that, it went in the freezer to eat later at a later date. And that's the way people have to do now. They've got to watch what they spend. With the economy the way it is, the prices the way it is, you just can't afford to throw your food away. Unless you purposely cook too much and you want to put it in your compost bin to grow more food, now that will work. But yeah, I mean, that's a perfect waffle right there. That is just as good as any waffle you're going to get in the store, frozen. It's just as good as any waffle you're going to buy in any restaurant. So make your own. Buy you some frozen fruit. Slice you up some strawberries or even fresh fruit. Put it on there with some whipped cream and some syrup. Oh my God, that's good eating right there. I know, I'm a crazy lady. But we got to talking one time with some friends of mine, and they were saying people need to act normal. And I looked at them like, what are you talking about? What is normal? Please tell me the definition of normal. because the definition of normal is different to everybody. What is normal to me is not normal to this other person over here. And with this day and time, society has changed so much. It scares me to think of what most people consider normal today. I mean, it honestly does. It scares me. Yeah, these are going to go in the refrigerator, or either I'll put one or two in a baggie and freeze them and have them at a later date. Because I'm not eating all of these right now. And I'm just going to put a little bit of sugar, not sugar, but a little bit of butter. And I'm going to pour some honey on it. And that's the way I'm going to eat mine, plain and simple. Nothing fancy. And like I said, if I already had some strawberries thawed out, I would probably throw some strawberries on there. But I don't even know that I'd do that because I don't have the whipped cream to go on them. So, you know, I'm just going to put butter and a little bit of honey. I use honey for my syrup. Now, I got other pancake syrups and stuff, like the maple syrup, the butter syrup. But if I have honey, usually I use just plain, simple, fresh honey on my waffles and my pancakes. Because I found years ago it's the best to buy your local honey and put it in your like coffee or your anything, your cereal, anything that you need to sweeten. Use your honey as a sweetener. And if you have allergies, if you get that local honey, it's full of all that bee pollen, and it actually works as a allergy medicine. It helps build your system up to not be so allergic to the elements around your area. So I consume all the honey I can. With my allergies, I need it. I mean, you can make blueberry waffles like this. There you go, those are done. So I got two more. And I can turn this off, let it cool. Woo! Even the little knob is hot. Thank goodness it doesn't get hot on your table. But, yeah, that made 4, 8, 10 individual waffles, you know, after you cut them apart. So that's not too bad a recipe for just a cup of flour. I mean, you make 10, so I think that's pretty good. In fact, I'm going to take this last one. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to get some butter. Oh, and I'm going to get some honey. If I can find my honey. I know I've got honey. There it is. And mine is Burleson honey, because Burleson is not too far from here. And it's actually packaged or bottled in Waxahachie, Texas, which is maybe an hour or two drive from here. So that's local honey. Other times I go to the restaurant called Babe's, and they have local honey as well. And you buy it in the pint jar or a bigger one. Usually I can't afford too much of that because it is a little expensive. But it's well worth it. Yeah, I'm just going to butter that a little bit. Put this one on top. Butter that while it's still hot. Don't like it to be too hot because then you can't eat it. And then I'm going to take my honey. And I'm just going to pour a little honey on it. And it does come out kind of slow because, you know, the honey is thick. Bless the Lord for our food as we begin to eat. Bless all the YouTube watchers out there in YouTube land. Let them have a beautiful, God-filled day. Amen. I mean, that's a simple little breakfast right here. And I've got breakfast for 4 more mornings. So I'm definitely going to put a few of them in a baggie. And I'm going to freeze them. I'll leave some of them out. And have waffles for the next couple of days. But y'all, that is banana waffles. Y'all have a bite. You get the first bite this morning. Don't that look good? Waffle pancakes. Banana waffles. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I dripped honey everywhere. I gotta remember to get this little piece up here or I'll have ants all over it. But that is banana waffles. I can't even get it straight, the name of it. Banana waffles with butter and honey. That is so good. To me, the honey is so much better than just store-bought syrup. That was good. And that would have been so good with some whipped cream. Yeah, it's finger licking good, y'all. That would have been so good with some whipped cream. Strawberries or blueberries on the top. Oh my gosh. Oh. And if you don't have a waffle iron, just pour your batter in a little frying pan and make you some little pancakes. And you'll have banana pancakes. The syrup is the batter is basically the same. That is so good. Oh my God. Well, I want to thank all my viewers, my subscribers, for hanging out with me this morning and watching me make my banana waffles. They're good, y'all. You need to make you some. So please like, share, and subscribe to my videos. And y'all have a blessed day. I'll see you on my next video. Bye now.